Scripture portions of the day. Day 320.
Matthew 4, OENT. Then Yeshua led us by the Spirit of holiness to the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was hungry. And the tempter approached him and said to him, If you are the Son of Elo-heem, tell us these stones to become bread. But he answered and said, It is written, A man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Jehovah. Then the devil brought him to the holy city and stood him on the pinnacle of the temple. And he said to them, If you are the Son of Jehovah, cast yourself down, and it is written, He will command his angels concerning you, and they will carry you upon their hands, lest you strike your foot on a stone. And Yeshua said to him, Again it is written, You shall not tempt Jehovah your Elohim. Again the devil brought him to a very high mountain, and he showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and their glory. And he said to them, All these things I give to you if you fall down to worship me. Then Yeshua said to him, Depart, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship Jehovah Elohim, your Elohim, and him alone shall you serve. And the devil left him, and behold, angels approached, and they were serving him. But when Yeshua heard that Yohanan had been delivered up, he departed to Galilee. And then he left Nazareth, came to dwell in Capernaum, by the side of the sea, in the border of Zebulun and of Naphtali. And the things which was spoken of Isaiah the prophet would be fulfilled, saying, The land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, the way of the sea, crossings of Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
The people who sat in the darkness have seen the great light, and those who were sitting in the region and in the shadow of death, to them the light has dawned. 17. From then on, Yeshua began to preach and to say, Return to YEHOVAH, for the kingdom of heaven has come near. 18. And as he was walking on the side of the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Shimeon who was called Kepha, and Andrew was his brother, for they were casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. 19. And Yeshua said to them, Come after me, and I shall make you to become fishers of men. 20. And at once they left their net and they went after him. 21. And when he passed from there, he saw two other brothers, Jacob bar Zebedee and Yohanan his brother, in a boat with Zebedee their father, who were setting their nets in order, and he called them. 22. And at once they left the boat and their father and they went after him. 23. And Yeshua was traveling about in all Galilee, and he taught in their assemblies, and was preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every sickness and disease among the people. 24. And his fame was heard in all Syria, and they brought to him all those who had become ill with various diseases, those who were afflicted with severe pain, and the demon-possessed, and lunatics and paralytics, and he healed them. 25. And great crowds went after him from Galilee and from the 10 cities and from Jerusalem, and from Judea and from the other side of the Jordan. Deuteronomy 23. 1. He that is fractured or mutilated in his private parts shall not enter into the assembly of YEHOVAH. 2. One born of a harlot shall not enter into the assembly of YEHOVAH. 3. The Ammonite and Moabite shall not enter into the assembly of YEHOVAH, even until the 10th generation he shall not enter into the assembly of YEHOVAH, even forever. 4. Because they met you not with bread and water by the way, when ye went out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. 5. But YEHOVAH thy Elohim would not hearken to Balaam, and YEHOVAH thy Elohim changed the curses into blessings, because YEHOVAH thy Elohim loved thee. 6. Thou shalt not speak peaceably or profitably to them all thy days forever. 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, because he is thy brother, thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. 8. If sons be born to them, in the 3rd generation they shall enter into the assembly of YEHOVAH. 9. And if thou shouldest go forth to engage with thine enemies, then thou shalt keep thee from every wicked thing. 10. If there should be in thee a man who is not clean by reason of his issue by night, then he shall go forth out of the camp, and he shall not enter into the camp. 11. And it shall come to pass toward evening he shall wash his body with water, and when the sun has gone down, he shall go into the camp. 12. And thou shalt have a place outside of the camp, and thou shalt go out thither. 13. And thou shalt have a trowel on thy girdle, And it shall come to pass when thou wouldest relieve thyself abroad, that thou shalt dig with it, and shalt bring back the earth and cover thy nuisance. 14. Because Jehovah thy Elohim walks in thy camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemy before thy face, and thy camp shall be holy, and there shall not appear in thee a disgraceful thing, and so he shall turn away from thee. 15. Thou shalt not deliver a servant to his master, who coming from his master attaches himself to thee. 16. He shall dwell with thee, he shall dwell among you where he shall please, thou shalt not afflict him. 17. There shall not be a harlot of the daughters of Israel, and there shall not be a fornicator of the sons of Israel, there shall not be an idolatress of the daughters of Israel, and there shall not be an initiated person of the sons of Israel. 18. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a harlot, nor the price of a dog into the house of Jehovah thy Elohim, for any vow, because even both are an abomination to Jehovah thy Elohim. 19. Thou shalt not lend to thy brother on usury of silver, or usury of meat, or usury of anything which thou mayest lend out. 20. Thou mayest lend on usury to a stranger, but to thy brother thou shalt not lend on usury, that Jehovah thy Elohim may bless thee in all thy works upon the land, into which thou art entering to inherit it. 21. And if thou wilt vow a vow to Jehovah thy Elohim, thou shalt not delay to pay it, for Jehovah thy Elohim will surely require it of thee, and otherwise it shall be sin in thee. 22. But if thou shouldest be unwilling to vow, it is not sin in thee. 23. Thou shalt observe the words that proceed from between thy lips, and as thou hast vowed a gift to Jehovah Elohim, so shalt thou do that which thou hast spoken with thy mouth. 24. And if thou shouldest go into the vineyard of thy neighbor, thou shalt eat grapes sufficient to satisfy thy desire, but thou mayest not put them into a vessel. 25. And if thou shouldest go into the cornfield of thy neighbor, then thou mayest gather the ears with thy hands, but thou shalt not put the sickle to thy neighbor's corn.
Daniel 9, Septuagint. In the first year Darius the son of Ahasuerus, the seed of the Medes, who reigned over the kingdom of the Chaldeans, I Daniel stood by books the number of days of the years, which with the word of Elohim Jehovah was the prophet Jeremiah, even 70 years from the accomplishments of the desolation of Jerusalem. And I set my face towards Jehovah Elohim to seek him diligently in prayer, supplications, fasting, and sackcloth. I prayed to Jehovah my Elohim, and confessed, and said, O Jehovah, the great and wonderful Elohim, keeping the covenant and mercies of them that love thee, and to them that keep the commandments, we have sinned. We have done iniquity, and we have transgressed, and we have departed and turned aside from thy commandments, and from thy judgments, and we have not hearkened to thy servants the prophets, who spoke in the name of our king, princes and our fathers, and the people of the land. And we have not hearkened to the servants of the prophets who spoke in the name of our kings and the princes and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. To thee, O Jehovah, belongeth righteousness, as to us confusion of face, as in the day, to the men of Judea, and unto the dwellers of Jerusalem, and to all Israel, to them that are near, and them that are far off in the earth, wherever thou hast scattered them, for the sin they have committed. O thee, O Jehovah, is our righteousness, and belongs to us confusion of face, and our kings and our princes and our fathers, forasmuch as we have sinned. To thee, O Lord, Jehovah, to begin compassions and forgiveness, whereas you have departed from thee. Neither have we hearkened to the voice of Jehovah our Elohim, to walk in his laws, that he may set before us the hands of the servants of the prophets. Moreover, all Israel has transgressed the law, and have refused to hearken to thy voice, so that the curse come upon us, and the oath that is written of the law of Moses, and the servant of Elohim, because we have sinned against him. And he has confirmed his word, and he spoke to us, and against our judges, who have judged us, by bringing upon us great evils, such as not have happened under the whole heaven, according to that which has happened in Jerusalem. It is written in the law of Moses, and those who have come upon us, yet we have not besought Jehovah our Elohim, we might turn away from our iniquities, and have understood in all thy ways. Jehovah has watched and brought evils upon us. O Jehovah of Elohim is righteousness. It is our work, and we should be executed. And we have not been hearkened unto his voice. And now Jehovah our Elohim, who brought thy people. It was kind of like people of the land. of Egypt, and with a mighty hand, and madest thou thyself a name. As this day we have sinned, and we have transgressed, O Jehovah, the mercy is all over us yet. I pray thee that the wrath turn away, and thine anger from the city of Jerusalem, for even the mountain, for he hath sinned, and because of our iniquities. Those of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people, are become a reproach, all of those around about us. And now O Yehovah Elohim, hearken to the prayer of the servant, and his supplications, and because of face shown as on the desolate sanctuary, thine and thine own, Yehovah. Incline thy ear, O my Elohim, and hear. Open thy eyes, and behold the desolation, and that the city of which the name is called, for we do not bring our pitiful case before thee on the ground of our righteousness, but because of the ground of thy manifold compassions, O Jehovah. Hearken, O Jehovah, the praetors. O Jehovah, attend. O Jehovah, do not delay. O my Elohim, for mine sake, for thy name is called by the city and David people. And while I was yet speaking and praying and confessing my sins and the sins of my people, and bringing my pitiful case before Jehovah Elohim, causing the holy mountain, you'll find while I was yet speaking in prayer, behold, the angel Gabriel, who had been seen in a vision in the beginning, came flying, and he touched me about the hour of the holy mountain, the hour of evening sacrifice. And he instructed me and spoke with me and said, O Daniel, I have come forth to impart to thee understanding. At the beginning of the supplication the word came forth, and I am come to tell thee, and thou art a rich man beyond above, so much beloved. Therefore consider the matter, understand the vision. 70 weeks have been determined upon the people and upon the city, for sin has ended, and to seal the transgressions and blot out the iniquities, to make atonement for iniquities, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and the seal of the vision of the prophet, and to anoint the Holy One. And thou mayest know and understand, that thou mayest go forth from the command of an answer for those for the building in Jerusalem. I pray until Christ the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 72 weeks, and the time shall return, and the street shall be built, and the wall and the time shall be exhausted. And after the 62 weeks, the anointed one shall be destroyed, and there shall be no judgment in him, and he shall judge the city and the sanctuary with the prince that is coming. They shall cut it off with a flood, and the end of the war which is rapidly completed. He appeared, and 1 week shall establish the covenant with many in the midst of the week, and my sacrifices and drink offerings shall be taken away, and on the temple it shall be abominable of desolations, and the end shall put it all away in desolations.
Daniel 10:1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus king of the Persians, a thing was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar, and the thing was true, and great power and understanding in the vision was given to him. 2. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. 3. I ate no pleasant bread, and no flesh or wine entered into my mouth, neither did I anoint myself with oil, until 3 whole weeks were accomplished. 4. On the 24th day of the 1st month, I was near the great river, which is Tigris Etical. 5. And I lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold a man clothed in linen, and his loins were girt with gold of Ophis. 6. And his body was as Tharsis, and his face was of the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his legs as the appearance of shining brass, and the voice of his words as the voice of a multitude. 7. And I, Daniel, only saw the vision. And the men that were with me saw not the vision, But a great amazement fell upon them, and they fled in fear. 8. So I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there was no strength left in me, and my glory was turned into corruption, and I retained no strength. 9. Yet I heard the voice of his words. And when I heard him I was pricked in the heart, and I fell with my face to the earth. 10. And, behold, a hand touched me, and it raised me on my knees. 11. And he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand the words which I speak to thee, and stand upright. For I am now sent to thee. And when he had spoken to me this word, I stood trembling. 12. And he said to me, Fear not, Daniel. For from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to afflict thyself before Jehovah thy Elohim, thy words were heard, and I am come because of thy words. 13. But the prince of the kingdom of the Persians withstood me 21 days. And behold, Michael, one of the princes, came to help me, and I left him there with the chief of the kingdom of the Persians. 14. And I have come to inform thee of all that shall befall thy people in the last days. For the vision is yet for many days. 15. And when he had spoken with me according to these words, I turned my face to the ground, and was pricked in the heart. 16. And, behold, as it were the likeness of the Son of Man touched my lips, and I opened my mouth, and spoke, and said to him that stood before me, O my Lord, at the sight of thee my bowels were turned within me, and I had no strength. 17. And how shall thy servant be able, O my Lord, to speak with this my Lord? And as for me, from henceforth strength will not remain in me, and there is no breath left in me. 18. And there touched me again as it were the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. 19. And said to me, Fear not, man greatly beloved. Peace be to thee, quit thyself like a man, and be strong. And when he had spoken with me, I received strength, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. 20. And he said, Knowest thou, wherefore I am come to thee? And now I will return to fight with the prince of the Persians. And I was going in, and the prince of the Greeks came. 21. But I will tell thee that which is ordained in the scripture of truth. And there is no one that holds with me in these matters, but Michael your prince. Proverbs 18. 1. A man who wishes to separate from friends seeks excuses, but at all times he will be liable to reproach. 2. A senseless man feels no need of wisdom, for he is rather led by folly. 3. When an ungodly man comes into a depth of evils, he despises them, but dishonor and reproach come upon him. 4. A word in the heart of a man is a deep water, and a river and fountain of life spring forth. 5. It is not good to accept a person of the ungodly, nor is it holy to pervert justice in judgment. 6. The lips of a fool bring him into troubles, and his bold mouth calls for death. 7. A fool's mouth is ruin to him, and his lips are a snare to his soul. 8. Fear casts down the slothful, and the souls of the effeminate shall hunger. 9. A man who helps not himself by his labor is brother of him that ruins himself. 10. The name of Jehovah is of great strength, and the righteous running to it are exalted. 11. The wealth of a rich man is a strong city, and its glory casts a broad shadow. 12. Before ruin a man's heart is exalted, and before honor it is humble. 13. Woso answers a word before he hears a cause, it is folly and reproach to him. 14. A wise servant calms a man's anger, but who can endure a faint-hearted man? 15. The heart of the sensible man purchases discretion, and the ears of the wise seek understanding. 16. A man's gift enlarges him, and seats him among princes. 17. A righteous man accuses himself at the beginning of his speech, but when he has entered upon the attack, the adversary is reproved. 18. A silent man quells strifes, and determines between great powers. 19. A brother helped by a brother is as a strong and high city, and is as strong as a well-founded palace. 20. A man fills his belly with the fruits of his mouth, and he shall be satisfied with the fruits of his lips. 21. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and they that rule it shall eat the fruits thereof. 22. He that has found a good wife has found favors, and has received gladness from Elohim. He that puts away a good wife, puts away a good thing, and he that keeps an adulteress is foolish and ungodly. Proverbs 19. 3. The folly of a man spoils his ways, and he blames Elohim in his heart. 4. Wealth acquires many friends, but the poor is deserted even of the friend he has. 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that accuses unjustly shall not escape. 6. Many court the favor of kings, but every bad man becomes a reproach to another man. 7. Everyone who hates his poor brother shall also be far from friendship. Good understanding will draw near to them that know it, and a sensible man will find it. He that does much harm perfects mischief, and he that use provoking words shall not escape. 8. He that procures wisdom loves himself, and he that keeps wisdom shall find good. 9. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and whosoever shall kindle mischief shall perish by it. 10. Delight does not suit a fool, nor is it seemly if a servant should begin to rule with haughtiness. 11. A merciful man is long-suffering, and his triumph overtakes transgressors. 12. The threatening of a king is like the roaring of a lion, but as dew on the grass, so is his favor. 13. A foolish son is a disgrace to his father. Vows paid out of the hire of a harlot are not pure. 14. Fathers divide house and substance to their children, but a wife is suited to a man by YEHOVAH. 15. Cowardice possesses the effeminate man, and the soul of the sluggard shall hunger. 16. He that keeps the commandment keeps his own soul, but he that despises his ways shall perish. 17. He that has pity on the poor lends to YEHOVAH, and he will recompense to him according to his gift. 18. Chasten thy son, for so he shall be hopeful, and be not exalted in thy soul to haughtiness. 19. A malicious man shall be severely punished, and if he commit injury, he shall also lose his life. 20. Hear, son, the instruction of thy father, that thou mayst be wise at thy latter end. 21. There are many thoughts in a man's heart, but the counsel of YEHOVAH abides forever. 22. Mercy is a fruit to a man, and a poor man is better than a rich liar. 23. The fear of YEHOVAH is life to a man, and he shall lodge without fear in places where knowledge is not seen. 24. He that unjustly hides his hands in his bosom will not even bring them up to his mouth. 25. When a pestilent character is scored, a simple man is made wiser. And if thou reprove a wise man, he will understand discretion. 26. He that dishonors his father and drives away his mother shall be disgraced and shall be exposed to reproach. 27. A son who ceases to attend to the instruction of a father will cherish evil designs. 28. He that becomes surety for a foolish child will despise the ordinance, and the mouth of ungodly men shall drink down judgment. 29. Scourges are preparing for the intemperate, and punishments likewise for fools.